Tell me something, great.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Corn Exchange in Derby, where I'm joined by a man that knows all about everything to do with a table at 7x4. It's former world champion Gaz Hibbert. Nice to have you, Gaz.
Afternoon, Dave. Nice to be here, mate. Thanks.
Firstly, Gaz, these two, I don't know if you were, they played already, I think it was about 3 years ago, back up at Mikey's place. It was a very one-sided contest in the end, with I think Craig coming out a 25-14 victor. I don't know if you're familiar with the game.
I think at the time I did sort of catch a little bit of it, but I've sort of semi-forgotten about it. So yeah, I think Mikey's got more into his pool since then. Back in the day, he came from snooker, so hopefully we'll get a bit of a closer battle today than that one then.
Well, both of these players have got one thing in common, apart from an extensive cash game career. They've both won an IPA amateur title and are now both professionals on different sides of the game.
Yep.
So certainly gone moving forward with their careers, shall we say.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Back in those days, Craig was playing a lot of money matches, I think, so he was obviously had the experience at the time, and now Mikey's getting himself involved in pool a lot more, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, just had a look through Craig's cash game history. I mean, he started playing for money at sort of like in his mid-teens locally, and he's had some enormous results. I think the highlight of which was probably the Sean Chipperfield game where he managed to get a decider. He's also played Steve Smart, Mark Fleming, Andy Hughes, obviously Mikey Tomlinson, Dan Davey, Nosco and Tom Barley.
Some big names there, yeah.
You know,
he's not scared of getting himself out there and taking on some big names. So he has got a good record, which I suppose where his nickname comes from, money making.
It's kind of hard to believe he's only 32.
It is. He's been around forever, hasn't he?
Yeah. Probably feels like he's been playing money for over half of his life.
Yeah, it's. I think him and Jack are similar ages, and obviously both from Derby, and they came through at a similar time on different sides of the fence and stuff. And
it really helps coming from playing out of here and having there's Connor Jones as well plays out of here.
Yeah,
plays at a very, very high level indeed. So having good practice partners around you can do you no harm when you.
That's it. There's lots of good players in this area. It's quite nice to see a green cloth as well for a game like this. There's so many different cloths out there now, and not many clubs have the green and for the big standard matches, so it makes a nice change.
Yeah, supreme winner. I think it's Hainsworth match cloth and in the green, as we see. First to 25, black ball rules. John Attridge in the middle. One of the best referees around. Will have no nonsense. Do you think the result in the previous game, although be it 3 years ago, will have any bearing on the result of this game?
Not at the start, I don't think, Dave. I think if Craig got off to a bit of a lead, then it might start getting in Mikey's head, but not at the start. I think he'll just be concentrating on the balls, and that'll be long forgotten for now, I think. It's hit that first break well anyway, just one little cluster that could cause an issue. Potted 2 yellows and 2 red, potted 4 balls there, so...
Yeah, interestingly choosing to attack the Reds.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were presuming he was going yellows there.
It was, yeah. I thought he could have played the double on the yellow first shot, which is obviously dangerous, but he obviously thought maybe the double on the red later on, but now his split shot's not come out too good, so he's struggling a bit now. Yeah,
forced into a double if he's going to continue attacking on Reds.
I didn't think he had a starter on yellows apart from the double. That's probably why he chose the Reds. So.
And having to play at a slow pace to hold the cue ball, very well judged.
Yeah, so he's got 2 options now, really. Take the one. He's going to take the one on the cushion, but he's going to go into the cluster. But when you've only 1 ball to land on, it's asking a lot to land on it. But he could have just dropped it in and play a double. But he's got into that one, so he might have to play the double now, I think, Dave, from that angle.
Yeah, can't see him taking the risk in breaking it out when you only got 1 ball to land on the one you are breaking out. It's usually too big of a risk. Can guarantee himself virtually a straight double here and give himself sight of the black if he is to get it. That looks just about perfect, Gaz.
Yeah, it's a big shot so early in the match, isn't it? Because the yellows are not going to be missed if he doesn't get it. So it's always nice to get one on the board early. So it is a big shot, even so early on. Looks good.
Beautiful. I certainly feel the start of this game is more important for Michael than it is for Craig. I don't think that previous result should have any bearing personally because it was so long ago. But when you've had what was a loss by quite a big margin in the past, it is going to play on your mind if you go behind early doors.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got to get off to a good start, which he has. Broken cleared the first game, hit a lovely break. Wasn't an easy finish, and he's took him out nicely. 2 doubles in there, so. But yeah, it was a massive break. It looks a lovely breaking table. Just seeing one break really, 4 balls going in on the first break. Yeah,
Craig was practicing early doors, and he certainly opened up quite well. So we're just going to have a little look at Michael Tomlinson's stats, I believe. Plays out of the White Rose up in Ossett, does he?
Yeah,
that's where his previous cash games was.
He's good friends with Andy, obviously. Andy Appleton, who owns the White Rose, they play a lot of doubles together, and he's always been around that area.
Also, like we said, he's had, I think, around 10 cash games also. I mean, his latest one was only a couple of months ago. He lost to Dom Cooney, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Only by a couple of frames, though. He's also played Ben Clayton. He's beaten him. He's beaten Daz Cheatham twice. He's beaten Matt Lawrenson twice. He's won all against Tom Barley, who Craig's also played. And he's had 1 loss to Andrew Patchett and 1 loss to Gav Robinson. So he's about, I would say, just scanning through his games, probably about 70-30 in favour of winning.
He's played a few there, people of a similar style, like your Tom Barleys and people like that. And obviously his last one, Dom Cooney, Dom's a bit more steady, and sometimes it's all about styles as well.
Yeah, Craig's was renowned for only really having one style in his early days. That's changed in recent years. He's now into his 30s. Married, which does, although it's off the table, does have an effect on the table. A lot more measured approach with Craig, but hasn't lost that natural potting ability, certainly.
No, he's got loads of flair when he goes around the pool table. He's got all the shots. It's a little issue. He's gone yellows here, the black, so he's going to need a little nudge at some stage. Doesn't go into the long pocket, so it's definitely going to need. He'd probably hope to kick the red away from it at some stage.
Just like to say a big thank you for everybody for joining us this afternoon. We are live on all platforms for the first, I think, 4 frames, and then we'll be moving across to the pay-per-view. So if you want to join us, please go across to Beard Productions PPV.
Yeah, he's just got to find his angle to split into the 2 reds and the black. He doesn't like where I don't think the yellow in them must go in the middle, so he's had to throw in a little safety there, which we probably won't see that many of them, Dave.
Yeah, just as we were talking about his more measured approach, Gaz, we get a great example of it.
He just overrun the previous shot, and I thought the yellow must sneak past the way he played it, but I don't think it did, so he had nothing on really. So.
Always felt that at the start of Craig's cash game career, he was labelled as sort of a little one-trick pony in the fact that he was just all-out attack. But there's actually quite a lot more to his game, and the reason he plays the game so quickly is, and I've had the pleasure of commentating alongside him, is basically because he sees the game so quickly.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And you don't realise that until you sit down with him, because
it's not like he's not trying at all, is it?
No. It's not as if he doesn't give the game respect. He just sees it very quickly. Same as Jordan Shepherd. Same as Sean Chipperfield. Players who play at a stupidly fast pace. They just see the game very quickly, so they find it very easy. Don't waste any time in between shots, and don't second guess themselves, which is very important in this game.
Yeah, that's a lovely pot.
I don't know how you feel, Gaz, but you certainly don't seem to second guess yourself too much. No,
I like to get on with it, but I do sort of think about a finish at the start of it, but once I know where I'm going with it, I do try and get on with it. But I think it can just be. It can be a personal preference about it, and a nervous thing sometimes as well, a nervous energy type thing where people just like to get on with it. If they stop and think too much, that's when the nerves actually kick in. So
yeah, and it can have a negative effect on the table. But you certainly don't second guess yourself, because you never consider safety shots.
Yeah, I got to my 30s and didn't do what Craig did, and my 40s and my 50s.
Yeah.
Potting some nice balls, Mikey, to keep these clearances going, but he's still got plenty to do here, I think.
Have you put yourself in the arena before, guys? I'm trying to think back. Have I seen you play for money?
Nothing at this sort of level, Dave. No, nothing. I'd say my biggest money match that I can remember is probably about £1,200 back in the day, something like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Probably quite difficult to find contenders. I mean, you would find.
Oh,
some.
definitely.
Of course There's only a small pool once you become a world champion.
I think I've said this to other people before. I think because of the type of people I'd be playing and the races I play, it's not the sort of practice I do. So I'd want to take 2-3 months off work to get myself in that position, and then you're money-wise you're up against it already because I'm self-employed. So if I've taken 2-3 months off work, you're putting yourself under it already to perform and win the match, aren't you? So I don't think I could get in from work the work I do and practice at night for a first to 30 against some of the people that would play me. So
yeah, playing for a big amount, you have to give total dedication to the game. Make sure you're at your absolute best for the backers as well as yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. If I've taken 2 months off work, if I go 3 or 4 frames down, so many things can go through your mind.
Well, I do know I've spoken to Craig at some length this week, and despite jetting off on holiday for a long weekend, he has been putting the time in on the table. Looks very comfortable. Spoke to him just before he went on, and he was extremely relaxed, in a good mood.
Just left that one a little short.
Doesn't cause him any problems though, and he's levelled things up. As we take a look at Craig Lakin. In his hometown, playing at the Corn Exchange. What a venue, by the way.
Beautiful, isn't it? I've only been here 2 or 3 times, yeah.
Perfect for playing pool. Players Amateur Championship winner, he regards as his greatest ever pool achievement, and you can understand why when you saw the field. He also won, I think it was the Golden Q singles, was it?
Yeah.
The Bato singles. He won it back to back, didn't he? Was it the Golden 8 Ball or the Golden Q?
I think it might have been Golden Q or something, yeah. He's had good runs in IPA amateur events in the past as well. Yeah,
he won one of them down in Brighton a few years back. He uses the same size tip as his opponent. However, who makes his cue, he has no idea. As you can see, look at that, falling apart. Yeah.
I'm surprised actually Mikey's has got an 8mm tip, because I thought he might have just carried on with his snooker cue from his snooker days, but if his cue's 8mm, that seems a bit thin for snooker, so he must have changed to a pool cue.
Yeah, I think it depends on your cue action, how you strike the ball, how far you bring that tip back to your bridge hand. Your smaller tip enables you to not bring it back as far, and obviously a lot of players feel that you can be a lot more accurate. Also, you don't need as much power for...
Oh, he's lost his cue ball there a little bit. Got away with it. Oh, is that going to drop? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you don't need as much power.
No, I agree, David. I think since the tables play like they do now, and since Pro Cup balls, I think a lot of people have gone away from the old knitting needles. That you'd see people with 6.5mm tips with the old balls on the old tables and stuff. And I think nowadays, I think 8.5 is fine for this game now. And I think someone like Shane Thompson, who's probably in the last 2 years been one of the best 5 pool players around on the planet, he's just got sort of 10mm, I think, something like that.
I think it's just over 9.
Yeah, it's definitely a big tip.
All about hitting the centre of the cue ball that all us amateurs struggle with so much. Size do you use, Gaz?
I'm back up to about 8.2 now, and the cue that I won the Worlds with I think was more like 7.5, but I changed and gone back up, so yeah, it's about 8.2 mine.
You play about with it? I mean, have you gone bigger and smaller with it? I know it's hard to make it bigger.
Yeah, I have done with this cue, yeah. It started off at 8.5 and it has been brought down a little bit, yeah. Just that extra control.
I think what it does tell us about Craig is if we didn't know already, he's very much a field player. Yeah. Using a rat cue. I'm guessing he's probably had that for virtually all of his career, and he just can't play with anything else.
Yeah, I think that's probably right, yeah.
He's just got used to it. Yeah. For a lot of these pool players, the cue is basically just an extension of the arm, as we see the 3-ball plant, which has given him the opportunity to
come a touch far on that, I think. Yeah, he'd like to have been just off straight so he could run between the 2 reds. Looks pretty straight on it now. Might have to leave a bit of a thinner yellow. He's ended up leaving the cut to middle instead.
And could avoid the kiss on the 8 ball, and it's going to land nicely on it.
2 for 2 from his break for Mikey, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, we're staying with serve.
Yeah, he didn't hit that one as well as his first break, but a little bit more clustered, but he took him nicely.
Well, if he keeps breaking and finishing off his own break, he's going to be very difficult to beat. I don't think it'll go on forever.
25 of them, that'll be some. Yeah, I don't think he'd ever get a money match again if he did that.
No. I have witnessed games like that on a shorter scale, though, when you're playing first to 7s, first to 8, like you guys do on tour, where there's many a story of 13 breaks from the finish. But I've been lucky, which I have seen, 1 or 2 games that have virtually been that. Maybe one mistake, if you can call a dry break a mistake, because some players actually do. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I've been involved in games like that and watched plenty. It does happen, especially this day and age, and the way the tables play and the skill of the players now. It's more the depth, really, I suppose, of the players. You have to be doing that. You can play someone ranked in the 70s, 80s, and they'll have 3-4 dishes against you easy.
So early doors, you can't see that there's going to be a lot to separate these 2 players. Yeah, I mean, you've obviously played both of these, I should imagine.
Yeah.
Do you feel there's any deciding factor, apart from the history between the 2 players, that may give us an idea of the result? Going to try and put you on the spot, you see, Gaz.
Well, I would have thought that Mikey was maybe putting more time in, but you just said that Craig started these last few weeks. He's been pretty keen in putting the time in, so if it was anything, maybe Mikey is more on the table, but I could be wrong on that one, so it's a tough one. They play a similar game, you see, so they both, when they're on, they take a lot of stopping at any race of pool, whether it's to 7 or 25, but obviously they're not the most consistent players in the world, because they'd be higher in the rankings, because their A game, the best game, is as good as anyone's. So yeah,
a lot of that sort of recent form kind of goes out the window when you're putting them in an arena with thousands of pounds on the table.
Yeah.
Unusually, we are going to see Craig come down the table and then transition back up. Well, that yellow's not going to fall.
I think that's probably done him a favour, actually, because I'm not sure he had a shot there.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Yeah, I think you're right there, Gaz. I think he might have been snookered by the 8 ball.
He may have had a double to the one on the right. That was probably his only shot, but it means he's struggled to get back down for this one, so I think he'll be happy enough with how that's turned out.
Michael having a little wander around the table.
So difficult to do anything strategic or defensive in this situation, though. You really have to try and find something finish-wise and just try and force it.
Well, if he can leave himself an angle with the one on the baud line to... Well, I think he's playing that one now, it looks like. I know he's not.
It's in or over, really, isn't it? I'm not sure it's going to stay. Yeah, it's a pretty good shot.
Frame 4 becoming the first tactical encounter of this match. Just first to 25. Long way to go. And for those that are watching free on YouTube, this will be the last frame you will see. You need to head over to Beer Productions PPV if you want to watch the rest of this match. If there's space for the yellow at the top of the table to pass behind the red, yellows are a long, long way in front here.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that shot, to be honest, because that was covering the black across, and he's still got a bad yellow, so Mikey can get a bit of control here. He's got a pocket for the black now if he can actually get somewhere with his reds.
Will he be tempted to attack here and try and cannon down into the 2 reds? Hoping to make the yellow. It certainly looks like he's planning on it.
Maybe he's going to try and skill shoot. Yeah, it doesn't go, does it? So yeah, it's Maybe he's just going to try and get his red in this corner behind the two yellows. Get a bit of control over there while Craig's yellow's tricky at the top.
You just can't see a lot on here for Mikey at all.
If he's going here, this shot has to be almost perfect, really.
Wow. Has he been a bit fortunate here? Can he pop this down into the bottom left as we look down at the table and disturb the two reds? Or is he too straight?
Again.
Oh, wow.
He likes a double early in this match, doesn't he? I think that's about the fourth or fifth one he's gone for. He's got most of them.
I think it gives an indication of how he's feeling early doors out there.
Yeah. Gets a bounce here.
And he's going to need another.
Yeah, but that's a lovely angle, I think. Oh, no, he's just come a touch too far, maybe. He may have to try and screw into the yellow to hold on the black.
Wow.
Played the nudge, it slid on him a little bit.
Be interesting to know which cloth Mikey's been practicing on at home, because on the Hainsworth match, as you well know, I'm not educating you, but you play them slower, they'll slide out to the right, and if you play them harder, they'll check up. And other cloths, certainly the ones that you use
at the
IPA,
is that would have squared up a lot more. Yeah, and that's probably if he is practicing on those. But all his earlier doubles,
wow. First big mistake by Craig Lakin.
Yeah,
surely going to be punished, you feel?
He's going long. I'd be tempted to snick this in with left-hand side.
Punched it in.
That's the worry of going long, I think.
But he's landed on top of this 8, and I don't think he's left himself a shot on it to the obvious pocket.
Very thin. The ref will have to be watching this for double it, so he's got it.
Wow. Wow. What an 8-ball. That will conclude our coverage on YouTube and social media platforms. So please join us for the rest of this match over on Beard Productions PPV. What a great 8-ball.
It was a bad mistake by Craig. I think we thought he had that one in the bag. So first little lead, 3-1 now.
Are you viewing it in the way when you're out in the arena looking for